Hey, I'm Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and this is the BlockCast.
Beep, beep. We're Lego fans. Click.
Is that Captain America? Is that the yellow delivery truck with Captain America in it? But which version
It,
of Captain America?
it is. I have no idea why he's in the truck. He must be protecting the deliveries because you know what that means.
It's delivery episode time.
It's delivery episode time.
And
Oh,
what month are we talking about this time?
I don't know. It's a well protected truck. Console is on this side.
Oh my God, that is wonderful. I thought he, spoilers if you haven't seen it, I thought he died
I think both of them did.
at some point. Cap is fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Well, I don't mean to spoil it for you, but I mean that movie came out in 2019. So, all right, welcome in
He
everybody.
didn't die. He was just super old.
He's still alive. Super Soldier Serum. Go watch
Uh,
Falcon Winter Soldier season one, and you'll understand more about how long they live. A very long time. But I digress. Welcome to the April releases episode for the Blockcast. We've chosen five of our sets that we've chosen. I can't call them all of our favorites, but I would say they're pretty good, kinda, and I don't know what they were thinking sets. But remember, the sets that we might not like, you might. And that's why we're going to talk about them. So feel free to share any of your opinions and comments down in the comments below. Josh, are you excited? Are you prepared for April? And will you be
and
buying every set that we talk about today?
I won't be.
What?
I won't be purchasing all of the sets we talk about today. Uh, Not all of them.
Not all of them. All right. So
Not
to
all of them.
begin, I guess we should start by taking a look at our sets, shall we?
Let's do it.
The first set we are looking at today is the Douglas DC-3 Pan Am airliner coming out on April 4th. Did you know that Pan Am is slowly coming back to actually being an airline again? Yeah, I'm not lying. It is. It's true. Look it up. This set is going for $219.99 on April 4th with 1,903 pieces and four minifigures.
Not too bad. It comes out to about 11-ish cents per piece, which is a little bit higher for something like this, but it is technically an IP. It does look like we are getting several exclusive brick elements and the minifigures as well. Kind of falls into the based on the skin tone of the minifigures, we know that they are in the historical line. We also know that they're in the historical line because it is in fact Pan Am, historically a real company. So when minifigures are released, if they are the classic minifigure yellow, that is a Lego IP. If they have other skin tones, then it's usually based on some IP or a real person.
Which in this case, it is based on the classic airline of Pan Am. If you're unfamiliar and you are probably under the age of 45 at this point, Pan Am's been gone a while now. Pan Am was a huge international and domestic carrier throughout the United States. It was just as big as American Airlines, even though American Airlines still struggles to this day. Um, but it was classically known as the luxury liner. It was a wonderful airline to fly. They just made bad investments, they made bad choices, and they did go bankrupt, I believe, in the early 90s. I don't quote me. We're talking about Lego here, not very familiar with airplanes. But if you remember the famous movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can, with Tom Hanks, he does play a false airline captain. It is the primary premise of the movie. Josh was
And
talking
there was a
about.
show on ABC in the early-ish 2000s as well called Pan Am that also gave you a little bit of history into the airline. So maybe some of the younger people will know it from that ABC show that was canceled after one season, so probably not.
Another airline that was a direct competitor to Pan Am, if you remember TWA Airlines, their classic hotel is still at Terminal 5 at JFK. It is a landmark. I don't know why I brought that up, but if you're familiar with TWA, you're familiar with Pan Am. Josh mentioned exclusive pieces and parts. I believe the Pan Am logo on the back of the tail of the airplane is not a sticker. It is a print on brick. I don't believe it to be a sticker. Um,
And I'm thinking that American flag as well. So it is very uncommon to get flag elements that are not stickers or like either fabric or loose plastic flag pieces. So that could be another piece that would make this set a little bit more unique.
I'm also trying to
But
figure out if that Pan Am Airways, the brick on the side, if it's a sticker or print on. It looks like print on. But also the glass element for the front of the aircraft is also rather unique because it's print on clear, which is actually pretty cool.
yeah,
The
so
other
some
thing,
cool elements here. But even beyond the elements that may be more unique, this is a cool plane.
yeah,
And I am a big fan of display stands.
you
I like this
like
display
display
stand.
stands.
I like display stands. I like the look of it. It's very sleek. It gives it that kind of upward lift. But in itself, the colors they chose, the brown and the gold, kind of gives it a little bit of a, I don't know, historical aesthetic. Something that you might find at like an Air and Space Museum or something like that. So it makes it a very cool display piece.
The one other thing that I really enjoy in the detailing of this set as well, if you take a look at the seats themselves, they're not traditional Lego seats, but
Mhm.
also it throws the scaling a little bit off as well. Because the minifigures don't actually fit the scale in theory of the aircraft based on the seating. That's the one question that I have, and I can go on a full tangent about this. On Lego Train as well, they're limited to the size of the track, which is the max size that you can get would be 8 wide by however long you want, depending on the turn radius. It hurts in terms of the scaling and size of not just trains, but also aircraft, where a minifigure sitting down is potentially 3 studs wide if you keep the arms in there. So, granted, this is a
So
display
the
for
the
but it includes the minifigures.
so the plane itself looks like it's on a micro scale.
Yeah.
So the micro minis that have come with like the original Agents of Shield helicarrier, some of the micro scale Hogwarts Harry Potter sets. So the interior of the plane kind of keeps to that micro scale or microfig scale, but having the additional display stand for the minifigures, I think, is a nice touch as well.
Yeah, I agree. For those that are plane enthusiasts, and there are many of you out there, this is a wonderful nod to the airline. And those of you that enjoy Lego aircraft, this is a wonderful display piece. The detailing is there that I love that the landing gear retracts and folds
Yeah.
into the aircraft itself. I love that. So you can have it
So
up
it gives
or
it
you can have it
playability as
down.
well. It's not just a display. There's going to be some interactive element as well. So I think that that helps adds to the appeal of the set.
So overall, this is probably for me the number one set that I'm looking forward to in April. I forgot, they also it comes with a little plaque as well, which is pretty cool. But especially for those aficionados in terms of airlines, if this set does well, you never know what you can see down the pipeline in terms of different aircraft. Because I mean, look at those wings too. Those are
Yeah.
the detailing is there. The detailing is there to make someone really happy, especially if they enjoy aircraft. And this is a
Yeah.
wonderful
Stay
airline
tuned
too.
next year when we do the breakdown of the Spirit Airlines set.
It'll be missing pieces.
No, it'll never be on shelves because it'll never arrive.
Oh, and then the next year will be Frontier. All right. Should we talk about our next set in the lineup for April? That next set, speaking of aircraft, but also in the air, we have Nike Air. See what I did there? It was terrible. Terrible transition.
That's okay. You did it on the fly.
Josh, introduce them to this set.
Alrighty. So last year, Nike and Lego had partnered to release real life shoes and then Lego versions of various Nike shoes with the Nike Dunk. So they're continuing the trend this year now with the Nike Air Max in 95 and Lego set. So this set is going to retail at $99.99, $100 for 1,213 pieces, and it will come with one minifigure. So we are looking here at the set. It's coming out April 1st. Um, there's some pretty cool elements to this. I personally am not a shoe person, a sneaker person. I don't care. If it feels comfortable, perfect for me. I really truly don't care if it's stylish or not. That is not something I've ever been accused of. Not my thing, but these are pretty cool.
I agree. I now I have friends who are sneakerheads that do enjoy sneaker collecting, wearing. Yes, people collect sneakers, everybody, but there's also a big resale market for them, which is kind of down right now. Um, you remember that I think the first shoe that we saw was with Adidas, the partner with Adidas, and then Nike came along and they had the Dunk last spring. And now they're coming out with the Air for especially for a collector that likes to collect shoes. This fits right up in there. The Air Max logo on the top, as well as the Air canister, not canister, whatever they call it underneath the shoe that gives you support, like you're walking on air. Marketing campaign. Um, like Josh said, look at the coloring on the Air logo itself. Not just the bubbling, but the color itself is actually really unique, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
I want a whole set of just letters in these bubble letters because they're very neat. As a 90s kid, grew up with all of the neat inflatable stuff. I always wanted the inflatable furniture and inflatable this and the amazing elastic plastic, which you could inflate and then play with. So things that are bubble and slightly translucent were my bread and butter. I love these pieces. I want just an entire set of these pieces to make other words. So it's very cool. That catches my eye immediately with this particular set.
now, granted, the one thing that I am seeing it because it might be falsified in this. It looks like it's clear frosted pieces on top of blue, or are these blue frosted pieces that are domed?
Um, they are domed, and I believe that these are over blue pieces, but I do believe they have their own blue tint to them as well.
So, in terms of the reselling market, if they do have that blue tint, that potentially means that they could potentially be used in mocks and people could potentially resell them for a good amount of money because I haven't seen that color tinted clear plastic domed brick before. So meaning
Yeah.
that it's rarer, so not just because of the piece, but more so because of the color. So if you are parting out sets, this could also be one that people could be looking for that specific piece. And if you haven't seen it, which I can't think of a set that I would have seen this,
Mhm.
that potentially could also be do well in the reselling space in terms of Lego as well.
Yeah. But the sneaker itself, I think has some really good molding to it. It has, the kind of right curvatures and um, it's not super duper. The back is a little boxy, but I believe that's fairly authentic to the shoe with the little knowledge that I have in
Yeah.
the shoe. But especially the sides. I really like the contouring of the sides.
But that is the Nike Air. If you're interested in shoes, if anything, more than likely at this point, because I don't think we've done the retirement video. I don't know if uh, Lego is still selling the former Nike shoe, but I would see that in terms of how production works, this might be replacing its former shoe counterpart from the spring. So if you see that on shelves, don't be surprised if it's not going to be there much longer, because Nike is only probably going to pay for so much shelf space with Lego and slowly replacing their shoes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another shoe, but the one thing that I based on the two Nike shoes that we've seen, you know what's probably coming down the pipeline that's really going to do really well? Jordan.
New Balance.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay. All right. With that, let's move on to our next set that we're really, really excited
gonna
for.
talk about. Yeah, we're really, really gonna talk about it. Yep.
We have to talk
That's what
about
we
this
can
one.
say
Do we
as
have to
preamble
do
here.
it? Do we have to?
I think
Yes,
we
we
have to do
have
it.
to talk about this because we want to hear from you what you think. Let's talk about the Yoda bust. Set number, 75438. This is the Yoda bust. It is 39.99, and that's 399 pieces. So what does that come out to per piece?
Too much. 10 cents per piece.
10 cents per piece. From the get-go, comments down below, or if you're listening on the podcast stuff, let us know in an email or just tell us, what do you think just from the get-go? Because I'm concerned.
Oh.
Let me zoom
All
in.
right. So for those of you that are listening and not watching this, you are missing out on a visual of Yoda. It is a bust. And when I say that, I don't mean like a statue that sits on a shelf bust, because it is, but it is a bust in design elements as well. Yoda's eyes in this set, beyond the fact that he looks like he has the mouth of a snapping turtle, Yoda's seen some stuff. He's gone through something that has fundamentally changed his demeanor.
Let me for
And the sunken eyes are the stuff of nightmare fuel.
so the best thing that I could relate it to for those that are listening. Do you remember the SpongeBob episode where he makes his own sundae and then has other people smell his sundae and their eyes shrink to like the nether because the sundae smells so bad? And then Patrick and SpongeBob think that they're ugly and they're not. Well, that's what Yoda looks like right now. Okay, so I want to reverse us, Josh, just a little bit before we get too detailed into Yoda here.
Yeah.
Because someone took the time to design this and build this. But you also have to
Yes.
remember limitations and constraints between the Lego group and the intellectual property holder, which is the Walt Disney Company, and in terms of the money that goes in and the money that is profit, because Lego has to split it with the intellectual property holder. So there's an amount of bricks that will make this set profitable, where they make a certain amount of margin that both companies are looking for. Remember, business side to Lego, not just fun. So Disney probably gave them constraints. Lego also had their own constraints where they didn't want to overbuild this and they didn't want to sit on shelves. The busts do well, but they probably don't do exceptional. So they had to balance budget with limitation, and that puts a constraint on the artist when they create the bust. Right?
Right.
Right. No project is
Yes.
perfect. We here at the BlockCast have talked about other sets where we've been contradictory of like the Pokemon sets, the way they've designed the block pieces with the painted on eyes, where it's just like the Sonic the Hedgehog or the what is it, the Shadow
Shadow.
bust, where it was just two giant eyes took up the entire head mold, where it wasn't intricate pieces. But now we get intricate pieces, and we're being contradictory again. So the concern that I have is that there has to be some type of happy medium where it can't be
Yes.
the block can't take up the whole eye or the eye can't take up the whole head as the design, but based on the character that would make sense, but it takes away from the building element of it. But then you get Yoda and I would almost want print on brick for Yoda because the way they design the eyes, yes, it makes sense, but also the design around the eyes is too vacant, if that
Yes.
makes sense.
So it looks like he's wearing a mask because there's the way that the shadows are, it it looks like this is like crime fighter Yoda in the Incredibles universe, and he's
Mm.
just got the black mask on, or he's gonna go rob like a Sith vault or something. There are some good elements to this. The shaping of the robe, how it looks drapey,
Yep.
is fantastic. Um, the base, it's pretty basic, but it serves a point. Um, you get a minifigure of Yoda with it, and the bust itself with the flowing robe actually makes the minifigure with just the printed arms, just skinny arms, look not as good. Whereas if the minifigure came on its own, you may not notice that the arms don't have a draping robe element. But this is also very, very small. So if you can, or to kind of compare the size with the minifigure to the bust itself, it is probably maybe only so big. So it's not huge. It's not going to take up a lot of shelf space.
Because if you take a look, the minifigure in this photo is about 3 bricks high. So Yoda, in theory, is like 12 to 15 bricks high.
Yeah. It's not huge. But there
He's
are,
studs high.
there are going to be collectors that will want this. And do keep in mind as well, this is not the first time that we have seen a Yoda as a brick built kind of statue element. In fact, very early in the Lego Star Wars partnership, there was a full statue of Yoda that had more of a foam green color. So the coloration is spot on here. Like I don't want to fully talk bad about this because there are some elements, but as a Lego fan, a Lego collector, they missed on the face. The ears look fine. Seeing the underside of the Lego brick gives contour to his ear shapes. I think that's actually a pretty smart design. Um, but mm, this those
I,
eyes.
I completely agree with Josh. At the end of the day, there was an artist and a creator that took the time to build this. This isn't like to put that down. It's the idea that quality over quantity, if that makes sense. It's the idea that Star Wars sells a lot of Lego. You trust me, you probably collect the minifigures and the sets, even not the so great stuff, right? And we talked about a little bit of margins here. You can see the scaling, you can see the size. And at the $40 price point, this is an easy gift for a Star Wars fan. Look at it from the
Yes.
business perspective.
Yeah.
That it's an easy, oh, mom sees this, he's a Yoda fan, $40 isn't so bad. And it's Lego, it's fun. Easy purchase at Target, easy purchase at Walmart. But in terms of like creative design, we've seen this in the past with brickheads. Like we saw it with a lot of the Sonic series, not brickheads, the Bust series. We saw it with a lot of the Sonic figures where there wasn't as much time taken in the development of the bust, where it was more so print on brick and larger brick. But it's the idea that less brick means more potential profit, right? Where you're mostly paying for the IP here. Um, but I wish there was more time taken for Yoda within the face. I think the head is good. I like that the ears wiggle. It's a lot of fun. The detailing is somewhat there, but the face, it we could have taken another couple days and figure out what to do. But
Honestly, if they took a single tile um stud just to bring those eyes forward just a little bit so it's not so sunken and doesn't have that mask-like shadow,
yeah,
I think it would be improved greatly just by bringing those forward just a little bit.
do I think this set will sell? Absolutely. Do I think it will sell because it is Star Wars? Yes.
Yeah.
Um, It is creative. It is a lot of fun. I like the potential, the integration of the lightsaber, especially with those tiles and brick, especially because we really haven't seen that color a lot. We've seen a variation of it, especially in mining sets, but not necessarily that color green. You can see that they have a pole or a Lego single stud all the way through all of them, so it doesn't collapse. So it is stable in terms of display. Um, but the big thing that I want to hear from you is what do you think? Do you think this is a set that you would want to collect? Do you think this is something that they could have designed differently? Do you enjoy this set? Do you like the way it looks? Tell us. The idea is that we're not here to be, oh, this is terrible. But it's the idea that uh, there's certain things in the design aspect of it that you can see that they've made sacrifices in terms of a profitability. And this is one of those they could have taken a little bit more time to design. Will I be adding it
Yes.
to my checklist for April? No. But to those Star Wars fans, hey, if this has, I probably to be honest, the Yoda minifigure with its clothing is probably unique to this specific bust. So more than likely, this bust will probably sell a lot more because of the minifigure.
And I mean, it's not even a unique minifigure. It has that same version of Yoda has come with Yoda's starship, with no variation. But again, people love Yoda. Yoda's a cool dude.
Yep.
There's opportunity here, some opportunity.
We'll see what happens with it. We'll keep you posted. We enjoy most elements of it. There's some that we don't, and that's okay.
Yep,
Let's move on, shall we?
let's do it.
Next thing we're going to stay in space because we're heading to space with Tintin. Tintin's moon rocket is $159.99. Is it a joke? We don't know because it comes out on April 1st. It has 283 minifigures. Can you imagine?
Wow,
1,283
what a bargain.
pieces and six minifigures. Um,
So so
what is
so
that?
far, this is the highest number of minifigures we've seen in any of the sets that we're looking at so far for April, but it also comes with the highest price point. There's a couple of reasons behind that. This is a Lego Ideas set. So not only is it an IP, but it is ideas as well, which tend to carry a higher price point. You're looking at about 12 cents per piece, but you are getting some completely unique minifigs. All of them have new elements. None of these are faces or accessories or outfits that have been seen before. So it is all completely fresh and new to capture the characters from this beloved comic that started in 1929. So there's a lot of history here, and with a an IP as well established as Tintin, um, that is almost 100 years of people who have loved this product, who will be interested in this brand, these characters, and this design.
Yeah, absolutely. As Josh said, this is a classic, well-known cartoon. Many people know about it in the United States, but I would say that this is probably way more popular in Europe. It was developed in Belgium and it is a Belgium cartoon, but it has been translated like Asterix in multiple different languages across many comics, so it is well known. The interesting thing about the site that we're showing you the photos, you see the minifigures at the bottom there, but when you scroll over to the minifigures, they don't show you the dog Snowy. Snowy is so cute. He's right there in the bottom on the left, and I wanted to see a close-up photo, but I can't find one. He's so far away.
I
Uh,
guess you'll have to pick up the
oh, there
set.
he is. Haha! He's so cute, and he has a little backpack. Um, So the one thing that Josh said, I do like the minifigures. I do find them really cool. I like their helmets. I find that to be fun. We've seen that piece in sets before. We've seen it in I think it was in the Dungeons and Dragons minifigure series, but we've also seen it in other elements as well, especially like Haunted House and what have you. The one thing that I have gripes on is they used block pieces again to make the shells of the aircraft, which make sense because it is said aircraft. But they used a lot of Technic on the interior to hold the shell open. But I would have loved to see more playable detail, like we saw on the top of the rocket, all the way down, where they're like working on things and spaces for the other minifigures to fly in the rocket. I think that would have been fun to have them seen on a shelf and displayed. You see how he's looking at the rocket. but you have to have the minifigures on the table. The other thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly with this, if they have ideas for the rocket for Tintin, I'm talking to you people that are very good at building things for Lego ideas. Wallace and Gromit rocket. Gonna throw it out into the universe again. Let's get that going, but don't do the interior with the Technic pieces. This is a very intricate rocket. I like the way it looks. If you're into Pizza Planet from Toy Story, can be easily converted for Pizza
Oh, for
Planet if
sure.
you need to.
But
Um,
it's a very clean design. Whereas Yoda was not, this does look very sleek. It looks very clean. I think it is a pretty striking piece. It's also pretty big, considering as well. So on a shelf between the red and white, it's going to catch your eye.
yep.
I think that it's a very solid looking set.
Yeah. And that is Tintin. We have one set left that we're going to cover relatively quickly. It is something that we've seen before from Lego and Nintendo, and it is Luigi in a cart. We've seen Mario in a cart called Mario Kart. If you're familiar with that, we're looking at Mario Kart, Luigi, and Mach 8, which is his rocket. It is $179.99. You can pre-order this item today, and it will ship sometime in April, but I can't see it due to the little window. Josh, maybe you'll be able to see it and let the people know. 2,234 pieces.
Yeah. So with our release schedule, the set is already on store shelves. So it is released on April 1st. As Tom said, $180, 2,234 pieces. This is going to be our best value at 8 cents per brick. And like you said, we have seen a version of this with Mario. I think it's neat that they are continuing this trend. As far as brick built characters go, we've talked a lot about them here on the BlockCast. The Mario Kart and the Luigi that we are seeing here are probably two of the best molded characters. The printed on eyes for these characters work very, very well because of the design of the characters themselves. The dimensions are spot on perfect. Having the nose element, the mustaches, the hat, the hair, and everything uh, helps give dimension to it where that's missing from the Pokemon characters, where it's just eye and like it goes into their mouth because they don't have other contours on their face. So these actually look like the characters. They bring that 3D element to life, and it's very strong. Bright colors. It's These are well done sets. I'm not personally a Mario Kart fan. However, I am a design of how these are built.
The one thing that I'm gonna look at, I think it's a smart release. I like what Nintendo is doing with Lego. I think it makes very good sense in terms of the way they release sets. They're slow, they're to the point. They take a little bit more time. We talked about Mario. Go back, watch our other episode on Mario. From a business perspective, especially if you're a fan of Nintendo and you've already purchased Mario, y- you're gonna have to buy Luigi. You're gonna walk in the store
That's
and
how
be
it
like, you
goes.
can't, Mario cannot be alone. It's as simple as
And
that.
and
Nobody,
particularly smart with Super Mario Galaxy coming
yep.
out into theaters as well at this time. So this is, even, if they're not driving their Mario Karts through the movie, Luigi is front and center, so it is front in mind. So they're releasing this at a really good time as well. Um, I think this will probably be one of the most successful April releases.
I believe so too. If you're interested, the Super Mario Galaxy movie comes out um, April 1st. And as Josh said, this is a good time to release. But the one thing that I really enjoy is that, and this potentially could happen, we don't know what May will look like. But it's smart that Nintendo is partnering with Lego to release these rather than releasing, not to be mean, but like junky movie sets, if you know what I mean. It's the Lego equivalent of like a Happy Meal toy, where oh the movie's coming out, put something together and put it on the shelf. Where we found from other movies that have released sets that the quality is not there, that people don't want to spend the money just because it's of the movie. So I rather them spend the time to have somebody design a relatively decently good set rather than something that doesn't make sense to the movie at all and has characters and minifigures that don't match, that make zero sense.
And a
So
lot
I'd
of
rather,
times that's because the filmmakers will give them, some specs, but for spoiler reasons, they don't get the full script and things like that, so they don't know what to do. So it's often a mismatch. So doing something that's tangential to the movie, I think is smart.
yeah, I agree. And this is a good pairing, especially if you already have Mario. Now you have Luigi. And if
Yeah.
this does well, you could see Donkey Kong, you could see Bowser, you could see Toad, Princess Peach. It's endless. It's literally endless,
Yeah.
and it all depends on the previous one that is sold. Because literally, this takes the place of Mario, and something will take the place of this eventually on the shelf, like we saw with the Nike Air. So those
Yes.
are our top five sets that we've chosen for the month of April. I don't know if they're all top, but they're both. These are the ones that we really wanted to convey and talk about. If there's anything that
Yep.
you liked or wanted to talk about with these sets and you are on YouTube, let us know in the comments down below. And if you're on the podcast, hop over to YouTube and message us, or you can message us on Instagram. We want to hear from you. Honestly, we want to know what you think because our opinion is not final. Everyone has their own
Yep.
opinion. Everybody is a different age and sees it from a different perspective. Unless you're like Dick Van Dyke.
He's too old.
He's
He
he's
cannot play with
too
Lego anymore.
old to play with Lego, so he can't provide a review.
So
With
sad.
that, that's pretty much April. Josh, let them know what they can do.
As we said, let us know in the comments what sets are you excited for? Which sets are you going to be passing on? We want to hear from you. Go ahead and like, subscribe. We'll surely be talking about some other sets that come out, maybe doing some Ultimate Lego Leaderboard
Board,
on
board,
some
board,
of
board,
these
board.
sets. So stay tuned because there's a lot more coming up on the Blockcast.
Exactly. And as Josh said, if you subscribe, Josh is ever adding to our physical Lego audience. Yes, we have a physical Lego minifigure audience. And if you subscribe, let us know. He'll help you design your minifigure to add to our audience, which he's ever updating because there is a large queue to get in at this moment in time. But with that, my name's Tom,
And I'm Josh.
and you have been enjoying the Blockcast.
We're Lego fans. Wait,
Bye, everybody.
take care.